everybody, this is Meenakshi Narula and I welcome you to my channel Mentoring the Mentors, Empowering Educators, Elevating Education. My dear educators, I'm excited to announce that every day at 4 p.m. a new video will be available for all of you, offering insightful content on various aspects of education, including innovative teaching strategies, classroom management, life skills, and many more. And if you have specific topic or challenges you would like me to address, feel free to share your suggestions in the comment section. Your valuable feedback will be helpful for me to prepare a better content to meet your needs. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the channel with the fellow educators and learners to spread the joy of meaningful and engaging education. Together, let's make this teaching a joyful and impactful journey. So, my dear educators, get set, go for today's topic, evaluation, meaning, need, and importance. We will be covering all these aspects under this topic, evaluation. What is evaluation? Till now, we have been talking about assessment. We will be talking about what is evaluation in this very video. And in the next video, we will be talking about what is the relationship or maybe the difference between assessment, evaluation, and measurement. So, my dear educators, evaluation in education refers to the systematic process of assessing. Yes, we'll be talking about each and every phrase in detail. It is a systematic process of assessing, right? There is a process, there is a system, and we need to follow it. Measuring and interpreting students' skill. After we measure, we interpret, like what are the skills, the attitudes, what is the performance achieved by the students, to what measures, like what is the proficiency level, whether they are intermediate, beginner, or at advanced level, right? So the effectiveness of teaching methods as well, curriculum, educational outcomes, everything is being evaluated. So it involves making judgments about the quality, the value, the worth of the educational process and outcomes. This is what evaluation is all about, right? So my lovely educators, let's talk about a few definitions related to evaluations given by the various renowned educationists. Rolf Tyler says evaluation is the process of determining to what extent educational objectives are being realized. We talk about to what extent the objectives have been met, right? So, as per Benjamin Bloom, who doesn't know Benjamin Bloom? Everybody knows about Dr. Benjamin Bloom, who has given us Bloom's taxonomy. So, evaluation is a systematic collection of evidence. Like we collect the evidences during evaluation, but the process is systematic, right? To determine what do we want to determine, whether in fact certain changes are taking place in the learner, as well as to determine the amount of degree of change in the individuals. Like we check to what extent the students have achieved the desired learning outcomes, what is the degree of change in the individual. This is called evaluation, and it is clearly mentioned it is a systematic process and we collect the evidences, right? And the objective is also clear. We want to determine, right, whether the changes have been happening or not. So this is said by Dr. Benjamin Bloom. Let's talk about two more definitions. Evaluation is the process that provides information. What kind of information? To help the teachers, students, stakeholders. Why? To make decisions about teaching, learning process, and educational outcomes. This is by NCERT. Like NCERT says, we should be able to get information to be provided to teachers, students, stakeholders, parents, all of the stakeholders that are involved in this process of teaching, learning, right? We get to know whether the educational outcomes are met or not, and if met, to what extent, to what level, to what degree, right? And as per Dr. S.R. Vishist, evaluation is a continuous process, right? It keeps on going as we talk about assessment too, that aims to assess the overall development of the students. We check the overall development of the students in aspects of knowledge, skill, attitude, behavior, which is called the competencies. So we assess, we measure the competencies of the students through the process of evaluation, right? So these are a few definitions. Let's talk about Kothari Commission. As per Kothari Commission, evaluation is a continuous process that we have already talked about. It is a continuous process That forms an integral part. That's an integral part. We cannot think about evaluation. It's an integral part. It cannot be replaced of the total system of education, right? Total system of education, imparting knowledge, discussion, measuring, or whatever. So evaluation is an integral part of that. It cannot be replaced, right? And is intimately related to educational objectives. What are the educational objectives? Based on that, we evaluate. It exercises a great influence on the methods of teaching and learning process by helping to ascertain the extent to which the objectives are being achieved, right? We check up to what extent the objectives are met or achieved. Now, if I talk about Thorndike and Hagen, as per them, evaluation is the process of collecting evidence to determine, right, what do we determine? The degree to which an individual has achieved the educational objective. Like we collect the evidences. Why do we collect the evidences? Because we want to check to what degree the educational objectives have been met, right? So this is all about the different definitions of evaluation. So moving further, let's talk about NEP 2020. Though there is no particular definition of evaluation given in NEP 2020, but we all know, those who have read, right? NEP 2020 emphasizes that evaluation is comprehensive. It is a continuous, competency-based process designed to assess not only academic achievement, but it focuses on the holistic development of the student, where we talk about 360-degree assessment. Okay, so we evaluate on all the aspects of the personality of an individual. Now, what all aspects do we cover in that? Like, if we would like to conclude in our language, evaluation is the process of assessing the students' learning outcome. We assess the students' learning outcomes, the competencies, as we talked about, knowledge, skill, attitude, and behavior. The critical thinking, the creativity means we talk about 21st century skills and overall development in a formative and summative manner. Like we talk about formative and summative. They both are a part of evaluation, and it focuses on measuring what students know, they understand, they apply, they analyze, means all the lots as well as hots we cover as per Bloom's taxonomy, moving them away from cramming, rote learning, memorization to conceptual understanding and practical application. So this is what we can say as per NEP 2020, what evaluation should be. Okay, I hope you have understood this, what I have tried to explain. NEP advocates, these are the 4 points that I would like to highlight. Though it's a comprehensive document, make sure you read the same in detail. It talks about HPC Holistic Progress Card. I have already shared number of videos on HPC for the foundational stage, and very soon I'll be talking about the preparatory stage as well. Though I have shared all the report cards shared by Parak, but in detail, I have shared the report card which is by CBSE. So very soon, I will be talking about the preparatory report card shared by CBSE in this series of assessment and evaluation that we have started on our channel. It talks about competency-based assessment focused on core concept skills and higher order thinking skills. It includes formative as well as summative assessment. Also, it talks about, it recommends joyful learning, happy classrooms, and we talk about stress-free environment, right? Reducing exam-related stress by making the students and assessments more comprehensive, fair, and integrated with the learning process. So this is what NEP 2020 advocates. So let's talk about what is the need of evaluation. Though we have already discussed many things, right? But still, under this heading, need of evaluation, whether you are pursuing your B.Ed or M.Ed, there is a topic, there is a particular exam based on assessment, evaluation, and measurement. So this question may be asked, what is the need of evaluation? Number one, we want to assess the learning. We want to check whether the learning outcomes, the learning objectives have been achieved or not, and what is the progress, to what extent the students have achieved the learning outcomes, which are intended for them for a particular age group, for a particular subject, number one. And next, improvement of teaching. we do evaluate, we do reflect on whether the learning outcomes have been achieved or not by following a particular type of teaching strategies. Do the teachers need to make any change in the teaching learning process? So accordingly, we make amendments if required. Number three, curriculum effectiveness. Through this evaluation, we check, we map whether educational goals are met or not. Do we need to make any kind of changes in our curriculum that we have planned? And next, we talk about student motivation. Because when we evaluate, we share the results, we talk to the students. This is the place on the ladder of success where you are present right now and how you're going to move ahead. So, this is how the little milestones, when are achieved by the students, that provides a lot of motivation to them to move further. And next, it helps to make decisions based on promotion, placement, certification. You see, based on a certain degree of the achievement of learning outcome, a certificate is given to us. Like, for example, if we go ahead with any kind of exam, we get our grades based on the achievement of the learning outcomes, which are being assessed based on the different marks, the different grades that we achieve. And it ensures accountability of educators, the students, organization towards achieving the learning outcomes or the learning objectives. So this is the need for evaluation, right? Let's now talk about what is the importance of evaluation. As we have been talking about need, based on that need, we will come to our importance of evaluation. Like at this evaluation is very important in order to help us measure the achievement in the form of learning outcomes. Also, we will be able to identify strengths and weakness, that is grow and glow areas, or maybe sunny and muddy areas, whatever the terminology you would wish to use, you can. We will be able to identify so that we will be able to see how and when to scaffold the students in which areas, in what ways. It also guides instructions and enhances the learning outcomes because we will be able to modify the instruction and we will be able to improve the performance in both the cases from the teachers and from the students end. Also, it ensures quality education because maintenance and improvement of the quality education is based on evaluation results. It promotes self-reflection for students as well as teachers because when we get to know what are the results of evaluation, that gives us a chance to reflect on the process of learning outcome, right, of our teaching learning process. Also, it fosters holistic development. Holistic includes the CAP, cognitive, affective, and psychomotor, like all the domains of the learning of an individual. So now let's, my dear educators, to talk about the characteristics of evaluation. First of all, it is systematic and follows a particular structure. It is systematic. It cannot be haywire. There is a proper method. There is a process for particular age group, how the assessment is to be taken, how many percentage of remembering, understanding, creating, I mean, different ability questions, different competency based questions, they are there, so that everything is systematic, right? We cannot go haywire. And it's reliable because it's based on the factual evidences. We gather the evidences of the student performance, so that is reliable. It is goal oriented. There is a goal of achieving the learning outcomes, and we assess, we evaluate students' learning outcome. We measure that based on the various tests or methods or strategies that we use in our classroom or maybe at the larger scale. Now, it is diagnostic in nature because we are able to check the learning gaps. When we assess, when we evaluate our students, we get to know where are the learning gaps. Also, we will be able to suggest the measures of improvement. So it is remedial in nature. In characteristics, we talk about the nature of evaluation. Like these are the points that you can see here on the screen. It's systematic, comprehensive, it's continuous, reliable, it's goal-oriented, diagnostic, remedial. These are the characteristics of evaluation. Along with that, there are 6 more points. It is flexible, it is adaptive because we can modify it as per our needs in case, because you know very well, CBSE is making changes in the assessment pattern every year. Every year, the percentage of competency-based questions, they are being increased, right? So accordingly, it is flexible. We keep on testing, and accordingly, we keep on making changes in our pattern of evaluation. It is feedback oriented. We do provide constructive feedback to our students based on evaluation, like which areas improvement is required, how they need to go ahead further. So it is feedback oriented. It is holistic in nature, right? Because we assess cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. CAP, C for cognitive, A for affective, and P for psychomotor, right? And it is quantitative in nature because we get scores, we get marks, we get grades, right? Maybe CGPs, in whatever basis we get to know like where the child lies. It talks about numbers, it talks about grades. Also, it talks about qualitative. It is qualitative in nature. It provides the descriptive feedback of the student performance. Also, the last point that we will be taking today, for this characteristics of evaluation, it is learner centered, because the whole process of evaluation is learner centered. We focus on the growth and the development of the learner, and taking this in mind, we plan our structure, our evaluation, like, because which is systematic and comprehensive in nature. So my dear educators, this is all about evaluation that we have discussed in this video. Like, subscribe, and share. Until then, goodbye. Thank you.